There is someone in your life who continues to carry the profound weight of heartbreak, a burden that centers entirely around you. This weight has not diminished with the passage of time, nor has it been lightened by distance or silence. The truth that lives at the core of their being is this: no matter how many days, weeks, or months have passed since you last spoke, you remain the singular person they long to be with. You are the one their heart calls out for in moments of solitude, the one their soul recognizes as home. Even though a heavy silence has settled between you both like morning fog that refuses to lift, their heart has never ceased its steady rhythm of devotion toward you. Not for a single moment has it stopped beating with love that belongs exclusively to you. They have been holding something inside for longer than you might imagine, something they have struggled desperately to articulate, to give voice to finally release into the world. There are words that have lived trapped within them, pressing against their chest, seeking a way out but finding only hesitation and fear. They want you to understand something crucial, something that may reshape how you have interpreted their behavior, especially during that painful period when they pulled away from you without offering any explanation, without giving you the closure or clarity you so deeply deserved. From where you stood, watching them retreat into themselves, it must have appeared as though they had simply given up. It must have seemed as if they no longer valued what you shared together, as if they had chosen to walk away from something precious without looking back. But that interpretation, as natural as it might have been for you to arrive at, could not be further from the actual truth of what was happening within them. The reality that they lived through, the internal experience that you could not see, was entirely different from what it appeared to be on the surface. Walking away was never about ending what existed between you. It was never a decision born from a lack of love or a diminishment of their feelings. Rather, it emerged from a desperate need for space, for breathing room to sort through the overwhelming chaos and struggles that had consumed their inner world. They were lost within the maze of their own consciousness, wandering through corridors of confusion and pain, trying desperately to make sense of problems and challenges that had absolutely nothing to do with you. These were battles they needed to fight alone, wounds they needed to examine in solitude, demons they needed to confront without dragging you into the darkness with them. In their mind, by stepping back, they were making a strategic retreat, not a permanent abandonment. They hoped that by creating this temporary distance, they could do the necessary work on themselves, could patch up the broken pieces of their spirit, could strengthen the foundation of who they were. And then, once they had accomplished this internal renovation, they could return to you transformed, ready to move this relationship forward in the powerful, committed, and healthy way it truly deserves. They envisioned coming back to you whole, prepared to give you everything you have always been worthy of receiving. Yet in taking that step backward, in creating that separation they believed was necessary for growth, they now recognize that they created far more distance than they ever intended. What they imagined would be a brief period of personal reflection stretched longer than anticipated. The silence that was meant to be temporary began to feel permanent. And in that expanding gap between you both, countless things have remained unsaid, hovering in the space like ghosts of conversations that should have happened but never did. Those unspoken words have not simply disappeared into the ether. Instead, they have begun to accumulate weight, to grow heavy with meaning and consequence, creating layers of misunderstandings that neither of you intended. Doubts have crept in where certainty once lived. Trust that was once unshakable has developed cracks and fissures. The connection that once felt invincible has been tested in ways that have left both of you wounded and uncertain. They understand now, with painful clarity, that the absence of clear and honest communication has made everything far more complicated than it ever needed to be. What could have been resolved through conversation became tangled in silence. What could have been healed through vulnerability became infected with assumption and fear. They see this now, and it fills them with regret so profound it sometimes takes their breath away. Still, buried beneath all this confusion and complication, they hold on to a hope that refuses to die. Deep inside their chest, in the most protected chamber of their heart, they hope that you can somehow see beyond the chaos and confusion. They hope you can remember the love that has always existed between you, even during those times when it was not expressed in the ways you deserved, even when it was hidden behind walls of fear and self-protection. They hope you can feel, even now, the truth of what lives within them. To them, you are not simply important. You are irreplaceable. There is no one else in this world or any other who could possibly stand where you stand in their heart. They see you as their one true person, the most beautiful and authentic soul they have ever had the privilege of encountering. This is not exaggeration or romantic embellishment. This is the simple truth as they experience it every single day. This is precisely why they have been utterly unable to forget you, regardless of how hard they might have attempted to distract themselves or bury these feelings beneath layers of denial and forced indifference. You stand completely apart from everyone else they have ever known because your beauty extends far beyond the physical. Yes, you are stunning to look at, but what truly captivates them is something deeper. You are genuine and real in ways that touch them at the very core of their being. You possess an authenticity that is rare and precious in this world of masks and pretense. You made them feel truly seen, perhaps for the first time in their life. You looked past their defenses and saw who they really were underneath all the armor they had constructed. You understood them in ways that no one else had ever taken the time to understand. And you loved them, not despite their flaws, but as a whole person, complete with all their imperfections and struggles. That experience of being fully known and still fully loved was transformative. It was something they had never experienced before you, and something they know they will never find again if they lose you. That is why, despite all the silence and all the distance, their heart still clings to you with a grip that will not loosen. They cannot imagine anyone else filling the space you occupy in their life. That space is shaped exactly like you. It bears your unique imprint. No one else could possibly fit there, no matter how hard they might try to make someone else work. In the quiet moments when the world grows still, when there are no distractions to occupy their mind, they find themselves drifting into daydreams that feel as vivid as memories. They imagine a life with you, one where all the struggles and pain of the past are finally behind you both, resolved and released. In these visions, the bond between you is not just restored but stronger than it ever was before, forged anew in the fire of everything you have survived together. These are not fleeting fantasies that dissolve upon waking. These are heartfelt desires, soul-deep longings, glimpses of what they believe with absolute conviction could truly be reality if only the two of you could find your way back to each other. In their heart, you are envisioned as the best possible life partner they could ever hope for. You are the person they see walking beside them through every joy and every storm, through sunshine and through rain, through triumph and through trial. You are the one they want standing next to them when life is beautiful and the one they want holding them when life becomes unbearable. This vision of partnership with you is not just romantic idealism. It is a deep knowing that resonates in every cell of their body. But alongside these beautiful dreams, there exists a fear so profound it sometimes paralyzes them. This fear weighs on them constantly, pressing down on their chest, stealing their sleep, haunting their waking hours. They worry desperately that the time they are taking to mend their own life, to do the necessary internal work, to repair what has been broken within themselves and between you both, will ultimately cost them the most precious thing they have ever known. They are terrified that you, the person they value more than anything else in this world, will be lost to them forever. The thought that haunts them most is this: while they are struggling to piece themselves back together, while they are doing the painful work of transformation, someone else might come along. Someone who is already whole, already ready, already capable of giving you what you deserve right now. Someone might recognize your immense worth and offer you the love and commitment that they themselves were too tangled up in their own chaos to give you in the past. The thought of losing you to another person is not just painful, it is unbearable. It is a possibility that fills them with a dread so complete it threatens to consume them entirely. And yet, this fear haunts them precisely because they understand a truth they wish they could ignore. They cannot hold you in suspended animation while they take their time healing. They cannot ask you to wait indefinitely while they figure themselves out. That would not be fair. That would not be love. And so they are caught in this terrible tension between wanting you to wait and knowing they have no right to ask that of you. Despite these overwhelming fears that threaten to crush them, they continue to hold on to hope. It is a fragile hope sometimes, barely a flicker on the darkest days, but it refuses to be extinguished completely. They believe, with a faith that defies all logic and evidence, that a love as deep and real as what you share cannot simply fade away into nothing. They believe that the connection between you both is worth every effort it will require to restore it, worth every moment of patience and waiting, worth every difficult conversation and every painful step it will take to rebuild what was damaged. More than anything else in this world, they want you to know and truly understand that leaving was never about rejecting you. It was never about deciding you were not enough or that this relationship was not valuable. It was about recognizing that they needed to find the strength and wholeness within themselves so they could eventually return to you in a better way, in a healthier way, in a way that honors what you deserve. They want to be able to offer you stability instead of chaos, clarity instead of confusion, and the kind of unwavering commitment you have always been worthy of receiving. For them, you are not just a passing chapter in the story of their life, not just a memorable season they will look back on fondly someday. You are the person they imagine standing with at the very end of all things, the person they see being there forever, through all the chapters yet to be written. You are their forever person, their endgame, their ultimate destination. And even though fear and silence have created this painful distance between you, even though months may have passed with little or no communication, their heart still beats with love for you. Every single day, with every single heartbeat, that love continues. Their soul still believes, against all odds and despite all obstacles, in a future where you are together, where the story you began continues, where the love you share finally gets the happy ending it deserves. What they long for now, more than anything, is the chance to open up all those conversations that were left hanging in the air, unfinished and unresolved. They want to clear away the fog of doubts and misunderstandings that has settled over everything. They want to prove to you, through their words and their actions, that the love they hold for you has never wavered, not even for a single moment, not even during the longest silences. They want you to know with absolute certainty that through every storm they have weathered, through every moment of silence that stretched between you, through every internal struggle they have faced, you have remained the most important person in their heart. You are their anchor when everything else feels unstable, their dream when reality feels bleak, and their hope when the future seems uncertain. And though they may not always have shown it in ways you could see or feel, everything within them longs to make things right, to take this connection forward, hand in hand, walking together toward the life they have always dreamed of sharing with you. This separation, as painful and prolonged as it has been, does not change what they truly feel about you. No amount of physical distance, no length of silence, no passage of time could ever erase the emotions that live permanently inside their heart. Even when they struggle to find the right words to express what they feel, even when language fails them and they do not know how to articulate the depth of their love, they have always found themselves speaking to you through music. Every melody that moves them, every lyric that resonates with their soul, every song that brings tears to their eyes or comfort to their spirit is a reflection of the love they still carry for you. Music has become their language when words are insufficient. If you pay close attention to the songs they share, if you listen carefully to the words being sung, if you let the music speak for them in the way they need it to, you will gain a clearer and deeper understanding of their feelings and their current state of mind. Those songs hold the truths they sometimes fail to say out loud, the confessions they are too afraid to speak directly, the reminders of how deeply you remain woven into the fabric of who they are. Leaving you in the middle of this journey you had begun together was never what they wanted. It was never their intention to walk away and leave you standing there alone, abandoned and confused, carrying the weight of everything you had built together without any help or explanation. The truth that they need you to understand is this: they were not prepared. They were not ready to make the enormous changes and commitments that would have been necessary at that particular time in their life. It was not about you being insufficient or unworthy. It was entirely about them and their own fears, their profound uncertainty, their inability to embrace the massive shifts that would have come with choosing you fully and completely. That decision, though it seemed right or necessary at the time, has haunted them ever since. It lingers inside them as a constant presence, a source of ongoing regret, recognized now as one of the greatest mistakes they have ever made in their entire life. So many things in their daily existence remind them of you. The simplest, most ordinary details trigger avalanches of memory. A song playing in the background of a coffee shop brings them back to a moment you shared. The scent of something familiar, perhaps a perfume or a particular flower, floods them with images of you. Even visiting a place you once experienced together turns into an emotional pilgrimage, every corner holding echoes of your presence. It is as if you are still everywhere around them, woven into the fabric of their daily experience, impossible to escape even if they wanted to, which they do not. They know with painful clarity that they mess things up. They know they created this distance through their own choices and their own fears. And yet, despite this knowledge, despite accepting responsibility for their mistakes, they ache with an intensity that sometimes feels physical for the chance to relive every single moment with you again. Those days you spent together, those conversations that stretched late into the night, those comfortable shared silences where words were unnecessary, they were pieces of magic, moments of grace that they did not recognize fully until they were gone. They took for granted what they should have treasured. They failed to appreciate in real time what they now see was extraordinary and precious. Their deepest longing is for the chance to hold those memories not as something lost and gone forever, but as something alive and present between you once more, as the foundation upon which you build something even more beautiful. Your absence has forced them to see with devastating clarity what they have lost. It has opened their eyes to a truth they can no longer deny: their heart will never belong to anyone else. No matter how much time passes, no matter how many years stretch ahead, no matter who may cross their path offering affection or companionship, no one could ever hold the space in their soul that you occupy. The way they love you is unlike anything they could ever feel for another person. It is deep beyond measure, unshakable despite all the chaos, and enduring beyond any test that time or circumstance could devise. Even now, separated by silence and distance, they feel that you remain connected in ways that defy rational explanation. It is as though there is an invisible thread stretching between your hearts, a cord that cannot be severed no matter how far apart you may physically be. This thread binds you together across any distance, pulling them always back toward thoughts of you, reminding them always of what you share. Without you present in their life, they feel crushed under a weight of incompleteness. They feel as though a vital piece of themselves has been torn away, leaving behind a hollow space that nothing and no one else can fill. Their soul whispers to them in moments of quiet truth that they will never find someone like you ever again. You are irreplaceable in the most literal sense of that word. You are the one person who sees them for who they truly are, beneath all the masks and defenses, in ways no one else ever has or ever will. Every time they close their eyes, it is your face they see. No matter what activities they engage in to distract themselves, no matter how busy they try to stay, their thoughts inevitably circle back to you, pulling them into memories they cannot escape and do not truly want to escape. They still read through your old conversations, scrolling back through months or years of messages exchanged. They linger over these words as if they are treasures unearthed from an archaeological dig, precious artifacts preserved in digital time that carry the warmth and vitality of when everything between you felt alive and effortless. Even now, reading messages sent long ago, they feel fresh and new, as though they are hearing your voice echo through them once again. These conversations remind them of the laughter you shared, the confessions whispered in vulnerable moments, the comfort of knowing that you understood them better than anyone else in the world ever could. Those words are not merely memories fading with time. They are living pieces of you that they hold on to tightly when they miss you most intensely.